Mauricio Umansky is ready to play amid Kyle's split. Mauricio Umansky has certainly been keeping busy as of late between attending sweet family functions alongside estranged wife, Kyle Richards, and traveling the globe for work. But he's also managed to sneak some fun in, as evidenced by a recent photo he shared to Instagram stories. The photo includes Mauricio as well as a pair of his pals, all shirtless on a beach day. The photo, which is meant to look like an incoming phone call, is captioned, "Summer is calling, and we're ready to play." Mauricio, as it turns out, has also been spending a lot of time at the beach. Earlier this spring, when he was down in Australia for work, he shared a look at solo beach outing. "Let's go," Mauricio captioned the selfie. It's clear that the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills husband is ready for as much time spent outdoors as possible. What is Mauricio Umansky doing amid his split from Kyle Richards? When he's not at the beach, he has been busy working and getting the word out about his home listings and sharing all about the evolution of his real estate business at the agency, as he's been making appearances at events and on podcasts opening up about his work in the real estate game. Mauricio has also been celebrating his 4 daughters, whom he shares with Kyle. Most recently, he was on hand to support Alexia Umansky at her engagement party before she weds Jake Sinkerman later this year. At the event, Alexia even made sure to give her parents a shout-out during her speech. "I do want to start by thanking, first and foremost, my mom and dad. I love you guys so much. We wouldn't be here without you guys today. This home is what it is because of you. I wanted to celebrate so badly here because of the home you made for us." Where do Mauricio Umansky and Kyle Richards stand today? After announcing their split on 2023, Kyle and Mauricio remain separated but have yet to divorce. In a recent interview with Briefing on Bravo, Kyle revealed the latest on their relationship amid their split, sharing, "We're doing the best we can, and I think our kids feel that." Meanwhile, weeks prior, Mauricio spoke to Briefing on Bravo and gave an update on their dynamic today. "We talk all the time," he said. He also revealed that things are amazing between them. "I love her," he noted. The reinvention of Mauricio Umansky. The sun hung low over the Pacific, spilling golden light across the Malibu shoreline. Mauricio Umansky stood at the water's edge, his toes curling into the warm sand, a phone in one hand, a smile on his face. The screen of his phone showed a playful mock call from Summer, complete with the caption he'd scribbled earlier that morning, "Summer is calling, and we're ready to play." It had been nearly a year since the world learned of his separation from Kyle Richards, reality TV royalty, mother of his 4 daughters, and his wife of nearly 3 decades. The media frenzy had been relentless, their fans divided, gossip blogs insatiable. But here, on this stretch of beach in Malibu, time slowed. Here, under the open sky, away from the cameras and curated content, Mauricio felt something he hadn't felt in a long time: freedom. Not the reckless kind, but the curious, open-hearted kind that came when a man finally stepped into a chapter he never thought he'd write. Echoes of the past. Mauricio wasn't running from the past, he was walking beside it. He still wore the silver watch Kyle had gifted him on their 10th anniversary. He still kept the framed family photo in his LA office at the agency headquarters. He still, without fail, attended every important event in their daughters' lives, like Alexia's engagement party last weekend, where they all gathered in the very house Mauricio and Kyle had built together. That night had been particularly poignant. Standing beside Kyle under strings of fairy lights, watching their daughter raise a champagne glass and offer heartfelt thanks to her parents, Mauricio had felt something crack softly in his chest. Not pain, not nostalgia, something gentler, pride maybe. Love definitely, but no longer the romantic kind. Later, after the toasts were done and the music had taken over, Mauricio had slipped out onto the balcony alone. He stared at the city lights, holding a glass of tequila, and smiled to himself. He knew what they had built, The family, the home, the life was beautiful. But it didn't mean it wasn't also time to let go. On the road again, work had always grounded Mauricio. After all, he hadn't just built a successful real estate company. He'd built the agency, a powerhouse now expanding internationally. With cameras following him for buying Beverly Hills, podcasts knocking on his door, and events flying him out to cities like Sydney and London, he was constantly in motion. It was in Australia that something shifted. On a solitary beach in Bondi, dressed in nothing but board shorts and optimism, Mauricio had taken a selfie with the caption, "Let's go." He wasn't just talking about surfing. That solo moment, beneath the roar of waves and cries of distant gulls, had become something like a mantra. Let's go. Let's begin again. Let's figure out who you are now, not as Kyle's husband, not as a dad, not as the founder of a billion-dollar company, but just as Mauricio. He began meditating in the mornings, a habit he'd scoffed at 10 years ago. He started journaling, not for Instagram, but for himself. He even downloaded a dating app, then deleted it an hour later. He wasn't ready, not quite, but maybe he would be soon. Summer is calling. It started with a boys' trip to Cabo. Just 3 friends, a beach house, a bottle of mezcal, and 0 plans. No publicists, no assistants, no cameras, just the wind, the water, and a reminder that life didn't have to be so curated all the time. That was the day he posted the now viral story, 3 shirtless men, tanned and smiling, with the cheeky caption that set the internet ablaze. Summer is calling, and we're ready to play. Some called it a midlife crisis. Some said he was trying too hard. But the people who knew him best, his daughters, his closest friends, even Kyle, they knew better. He wasn't running wild. He was finally playing again, exploring, laughing, feeling light in his own skin for the first time in years. Conversations that matter. Despite the headlines, Mauricio and Kyle still talked, almost every day. Sometimes about logistics, school schedules, real estate deals, mutual friends. But sometimes about nothing at all, a meme, a memory, a song they both still loved. There was no animosity, no bitterness. They had long moved past blame. What remained was complicated, but soft around the edges. During a recent interview, when Kyle told Briefing on Bravo that they were doing the best we can, Mauricio nodded when he saw the clip later. And when Briefing on Bravo asked Mauricio what their dynamic was like, he told the truth. "We talk all the time. Things are amazing between us. I love her." He meant every word. But love, he now understood, came in many forms. Theirs had simply changed shape. Daughters and dreams. Being a father had always been his proudest role. He knew every milestone of their lives, every scraped knee, every dance recital, every breakup, every triumph. And even now, amid the shift in his marriage, he stayed constant for them. At Alexia's engagement party, Farah had leaned over and whispered, "You're doing okay, Dad." He hadn't realized until then how much he needed to hear it. His daughter saw everything. Not just the posts, but the quiet moments, the calls, the effort, the growth. And in return, they gave him the space to find himself again. The other side of the lens. With buying Beverly Hills picking up steam and the agency booming, Mauricio found himself in the public eye more than ever. But now, something was different. Before, the spotlight had been shared with Kyle, with the Bravo universe, with the glamorous orbit of the Real Housewives. Now, the camera was pointed squarely at him. At first, he resisted the attention. He wasn't a reality star. He was a businessman, a dad, a husband turned something else. But soon he leaned into it, not the fame, but the authenticity. He began using the platform not just to promote listings, but to talk about mental health, reinvention, and the messiness of midlife. He stopped trying to be perfect. He started being real. And the audience noticed. A moment in Ibiza, It was late June when Mauricio flew to Ibiza for a real estate conference, and maybe, just maybe, a bit of fun. He danced until dawn one night under the stars, surrounded by strangers who didn't know his name or care who he had been married to. They just saw a man laughing. Free. He shared no stories that week. No selfies. No captions. It was just for him. A letter to Kyle, unsent. One night in Leh, back at his bachelor condo, Mauricio wrote a letter. He never mailed it. He never meant to. But he wrote it because he needed to. Dear Kyle, I don't know what the future holds. Maybe we'll always be what we are now, somewhere between love and memory. Maybe we'll find our way back. Or maybe we're exactly where we're meant to be, growing, changing, grateful. I want you to know that even in the moments when we were lost, I never stopped believing in what we had. I see you. I always will. Thank you for life. M. Fireworks. 4th of July arrived fast that year. Mauricio was back in Malibu, back on the beach, this time with family. Kyle came too. Not because they were back together, but because they were still family. They laughed over sparklers, shared stories, took photos, and when the fireworks exploded overhead, their daughters gathered close. Later that night, Farah took a photo of Mauricio standing on the beach, watching the sky. She posted it with the caption, "Our dad, still and always our anchor."